Hi, TCS friends and family. I miss you so much, and I'm so glad that you're here today. So, we are going to be studying a new skill that can help us to better understand the books that we read together. So, today we're talking about main idea and details. And our target for our lesson is I can identify the main idea and details in a story. Why don't you try reading that? Ready? I can identify the main idea and details in a story. Great. So let's talk a little bit more about what a main idea is and what details are when we read a book. So I've drawn this picture up here because I was thinking about this a little bit last night when I was making pizza for my family. And I was thinking about how pizza can really help us to understand what main idea is. So let me tell you the definition. First off, main idea tells us what is the text mostly about. So the main idea is what it's mostly about. The big idea in our story. I'm going to make a big deal about that word because that's so important, what it's mostly about. So I'll tell you why I started thinking about pizza. So last night I got out my pizza dough, I spread all of the sauce on it, and I put some cheese down. And then I started asking my family, well, what toppings do you want on there? And first I said, well, I definitely want to put pepperoni on there and I want some peppers. And then some of my family said, well, how about mushrooms? And I started thinking about how the main idea of what I was doing is I was making a pizza. But the details had to do with all the toppings that I was putting on it. So details are the things that support your main idea, that give you more information about your main idea. So if my main idea is I'm making a pizza, the details tell me what I'm putting on my pizza. I'm putting pepperoni, I'm putting mushrooms, I'm putting peppers. You can have a lot of details. Some people maybe like to put pineapple on their pizza or sausage or ham or onions or black olives. The details could go on and on and on. So I want to show you this a little bit more. So let's go ahead and add this into my chart. The main idea of a story would be the thing that's most important. So the thing that's most important is my pizza. P-I-Z-Z-A. The details are the things that I'm putting onto my pizza. So I put pepperoni. This is my detail one. I put mushrooms. This would be detail two. It's another thing that's supporting the main idea about making pizza. And detail three would be my peppers. Detail three. Great. So I just like to think about pizza a little bit when I'm thinking about main idea because it tells me that I'm mostly talking about pizza, but the things that are supporting my pizza are all of the toppings that I'm putting on. So let's talk about this a little bit more with a book. So I want to talk to you about how you're going to find the main idea in a book that you're reading. So the first thing that you want to do is to look at the title and if you in nonfiction, any of your headings. That's going to tell you about what you're learning or what you're reading about. So let's add this in. Look at the title and heading. Great. Now, the other thing that's really important to look at in my book are all of the pictures. I want to look at the pictures. My pictures can give me clues for what my book is mostly about. I also want to look for words that are used more than once. If in a book the same words keep coming up over and over and over again, it's probably because they're really important. It's what the book is mostly about. So I want to look for words that are used more than once. And finally, there's a big hint in a lot of books. If you reread the first sentence and the last sentence, it kind of tells you what the book was about or what it's going to be about. So that's normally the main idea. So I'm going to add that in so we can kind of take a look for this. Reread the first and last sentence. First and last sentence. Great. Okay, we have some tips. So let's give this a try all together. I have a book that I want to share for you. And the reason I chose this book is because this past weekend, I was really bored. I know a lot of us have been stuck at home in our houses and we're thinking, oh, what can I do now? Especially on the weekends. I don't have any schoolwork. What am I going to do with all of this time? So we're going to take a look at a book together and I'll pull it up here. It is called When I'm Bored. So let's go ahead and look at it. So this story is called When I'm Bored. I'm bored. Sometimes I'm not sure what to play with or do. That means I am feeling bored, and I can say, I'm bored. But there are lots of things I can do when I'm feeling bored. I just have to think about all the things I really enjoy doing or playing with. I can read a book. I can play with toys. I can do a puzzle or play a game. I can draw or make a craft. I can listen to music. I can watch TV. I can also ask a family member or friend if they want to play with me by saying, "Do you want to play with me?" So this is a speech bubble of the person saying, "Do you want to play with me?" I can always ask my mom or dad to help me find something to do when I am bored too. I can also write a list of my favorite things to do or play with. That way, when I am bored, I can just check the list of activities and decide which activity I want to do. It's easy to find something to do when I'm bored. I just have to remember that there are lots of different things I can do or play with, and then pick one of those things to do. Awesome. What a great story that was. So let's take a look back at our chart that we were making together. And I want to talk about how we can find what the main idea of that book was. The first thing that we remember to do is to look at the title and any headings if there were. This one didn't have any headings, but we can take a look back at the title. And the title of our story was When I'm Bored. I wonder if that could have something to do with it. When I'm bored. Okay, then it says to look at the pictures and to look for words that are used more than once. So let's go back and look at all of the pictures together. Are you ready? Great, here we go. Ah, I see this picture. The boy has his hand on his face and his face just kind of looks like no feeling really, like he's just like, ugh. Yeah, he looks bored. And in the words, it says there's lots of things I can do when I am feeling bored. There's that word again, bored. Oh, look at that picture. She's reading a book. The words tell us that. In this picture, there are toys. The words tell us the toys. In this picture, there's a puzzle, and the words tell us that you can do a puzzle or play a game. In this picture, the boy's painting, and it says that he can draw or make a craft. In this picture, the girl looks like she's singing while she's listening to music. She has headphones on, and the words say, "I can listen to music." This boy is watching TV. In this picture, it's a speech bubble that says, "Do you want to play with me?" In the words, it says, "I can also ask a family member or friend if they want to play with me." And in this picture, you see a little boy talking to maybe his mom or his older sister, and it says, I can always ask my mom or dad to help me find something to do when I am bored too. Ooh, there's that word again, bored. I remember that from the beginning. Do you? Huh. I can also write a list of my favorite things to do or play with. And that's what that picture is. That's why there's numbers, because each of these lines would be something on a list. And the words say that way, when I am bored, I can just check this list of activities and decide which activity I want to do. There's that word again, bored. Great. So we did pretty well with this. We looked at the pictures. We looked for words used more than once. And what was that word that we noticed? Can you say it a little louder? Yeah, bored. Bored. We noticed that a lot. And we saw in the pictures so many things that the characters can do when they're bored. The last thing says to reread the first and last sentence. So I'm going to take a look at what the first and last sentence was in my book. Well, here's the last sentence in here. It says on the last page, it's easy to find something to do when I'm bored. I just have to remember that there are lots of different things I can do or play with, and then pick one of those things to do. At the beginning, it says, sometimes I'm not sure what to play with or do. That means I am feeling bored, and I can say, I'm bored. Great, okay. So let's put all of those things together and think about the main idea. Remember, the main idea is, what is the text mostly about? So think really hard about that book that we just read. What was that text mostly about? Let's hear them. Yeah, here's some great things. So what I'm thinking is the main idea of that book is that there are lots of things that you can do when you're bored. And that told me the main idea, because the whole book was about things I can do when I'm bored. So that's why it's the main idea. So I've written that down on a Post-it note, and I'm going to put it right onto my chart here. So this chart helps me to organize my thoughts, and I'll move it in a little bit closer so you can see it really well. So I can put my main idea, and then my details are all the things that told me more information about my main idea. So if my main idea is there's lots of things to do when I'm feeling bored, my details are the things that I can do. So do you remember any of those things? Go ahead and think. What can I do when I'm bored? What did the book say? Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of some ideas too. So I've got some of them written down here. One of the things the book said was that you can read. Let's add that on there. The book also said that you can play with toys when you're bored. That's another detail. So the main idea is there are lots of things I can do when I'm bored. The details are all the things I could choose. The book said you can do a puzzle. Okay. You thinking of anything else? Oh, I'm thinking of some. You can draw. You can listen to music. You can watch TV. And you can ask others to play. So these are all details from the story of things that I can do when I am bored. So I know that I want to put these down in my detail, because my main idea, the thing that the whole book is about, is that there are lots of things to do when you're bored. So today we have a big target. And I'm going to bring this back a little bit so we can see our target again today. Our target was, I can identify the main idea and details in a story. And we just practiced that all together with our story about being bored. Now it's going to be your turn to try. So in your Google Classroom, you're going to see an assignment that is a main idea sorting activity. And I'll show you what this looks like, and we'll do one together. take a look back at my screen. You're going to see a page that looks like this. Now, on this page, there are 6 different main ideas that are already sorted. We have making a cake, we have school supplies, we have football game, lemonade, recess, and a party. So if these are the main ideas, I need to find details that give me more information about the main idea. So let's do one together. If I am making a cake, I know that there's some ingredients that I need to be able to make a cake. And if I'm thinking about them, it's been a long time since I've baked. Oh, I remember that I need cake mix. So let's check in these pictures if any of these are cake mix. Oh, there's one. So I'm going to move that up in here because that's a detail for making a cake. I need cake mix. What else do I need? Normally on the back of the box, it tells me that I need some eggs and some oil to put into the cake mix. Let's see if eggs and oil are on here. Do you spot them? Oh, yes, eggs and oil. Now I know I have to bake them in the oven. Is there an oven? I don't see that. What else could be about a cake? Let's check through some of my pictures to see if any of them make sense. I don't need ice. I don't need team colors. What? Or gifts. These things don't seem like something about a cake. Lemons? No. What could it be? Ooh, frosting. When I make a cake, I always put frosting on it at the end. So I'm going to add that detail also. So your job today is to look at the main idea and then click and drag the details that will match the main idea into the boxes here. So you may go ahead and stop this video and you're going to go back to Google Classroom to find this assignment. It is listed under Monday. Good luck, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, friends.